What's going on, chat? Pretty sure you guys can hear me. Not confident, not 100%, but I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me. What's going on, man? Appreciate you for coming through. We're going to be getting going here momentarily in about 8 minutes. I'm still waiting on the whole panel to show up. I'm sure they'll show up here soon. Hustle will be a couple minutes late, but he has some work stuff he has to do, but he'll be here soon, hopefully. We got a pretty good show, man. We got a pretty good show. Once we start this, man, I'm pretty sure some of you gonna like this this show I got going for you. Here, probably in the next week, we'll have the artwork up. I do plan on changing the format up of the show a little bit, if that makes sense to you guys. We'll talk about that here in a little bit later, but appreciate it for coming through. Definitely stick around for a good show. Like I said, Hustle will be a little late, and see you here in a couple minutes.
It goes. Tweet. Oh, right.
What's going on, you guys? Sorry we a little bit late, man. We had some technical difficulties. Originally, so first off, let me explain, okay? I wasn't expecting Hustle for a couple minutes, so I had like another template that showed when Hustle showed up, but when he showed up before the podcast started, I had to like redo that. And then when I went to change the properties of where the audio is coming from, it was like, we're not going to show you that, we're not going to show you the Xbox headset. So I had to like reset that. It's just, it's been chaotic. But anyway, thank you guys for coming to another Addict Show where we talk about the past, present, and future of gaming. I got my co-host with me, Hustle and Motivate. What's going on, Hustle? What have you been doing? What have you been playing?
Oh, well, as far as what I've been playing, Super Smash Brothers Melee. Just messing around with it. But I don't know where the hell I put it. I bought, if y'all follow me on Twitter, you know, I bought Kingdom Hearts. Heard Jay Barry and Restar was talking about this on Weapon Wheel. It kind of was going on and on about it. So I figure I'll give this a shot and see what the series is hitting for. Addict, you're into this, aren't you?
Yes, I've beat them all.
Yeah,
curious, when are you going to start that?
Probably Friday, because I was going to start.
Okay. We are going. Okay, saying this now, we're gonna have weekly reports with Hustle and Kingdom Hearts. So we gonna have that going on. So what, is that all you've been doing, man?
Yeah. Outside like if you follow me on Twitter again, I don't know if I posted some pictures of my new privacy gate. Me and my pops put up a privacy gate for the dogs, so they're out there running around having a good time. This just been with the dogs mainly though. Outside of that, just working home, and here we are.
And then we got a good friend. I was on his podcast a couple months ago. Court, how do you say your whole name? Court Lador? Or like, I don't want to butcher it, man. Like
right. It's French Canadian. It's Court Lalonde.
See, I can barely speak English half the time, so that's definitely not happening.
Lalonde.
Lalonde. Okay.
Yeah, when I'm actually in the U.S., I get Lalonde or Lalonde a lot, but it's Lalonde, whatever you want to. It don't bother me. I said Lalonde, but like
I'm gonna call you Court.
There, see, that's easier. That's so much easier. And
yeah, but I felt like the first time people had to know your official name. And as people see when I'm reading super chats, I can't pronounce stuff to save my life. So you gonna say your name because I can barely speak English half the time. I ain't going nowhere near some French stuff. Ain't happening.
I'm with you there. When we do Xbox A and we're reading off the the article sometimes. We're trying to give the writer, we're like, and this is written by, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna butcher this and I'm gonna try, but I'm like, yeah, I give up. I've been hit too many times playing hockey. I say words wrong a lot. It is what it is.
And at this,
great to you, Hustle, on trying out Kingdom Hearts, because that story had me lost. But I did like the last one. I played it. I even just recently replayed it when it was on Gamepass with my daughter, who's 5, and she loved every minute of it because she has no clue what's going on, just like everybody's playing it.
It's got good gameplay. I will say that 5, Kingdom Hearts 3 has the best gameplay by far. Like, by far. You'll see it when you get to it. Hustle, I know you about to hurt. Like, Kingdom Hearts 1 is clunky.
It can't be no worse than Uncharted 1. Like that.
I'm telling you, no. On Kingdom Hearts 1, just like the beginning, like the first, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna play 4 hours and be like, you're gonna message Attic and be like, so when am I gonna get to play this game? Like, what's going on here?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. So I'm treating this like Persona. When I first played Persona 5 for the very first time,
is it coming with individual games, or is that just? It looks like that binder looks huge.
Yeah, it's 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna treat it like Persona though. They said it's a JRPG, so you really don't expect nothing the first few hours as you play. So you just gotta kind of get it's the introductory stage. So I'm gonna just treat it like that, and hopefully it'll turn up. But if it is bad, if it is bad, or if the controls are clunky, I'm gonna forgive it because it came out in like 2005, right? It came out during the PS2 era, so I'm not gonna like hold it to such a high standard. You know what I'm saying?
When 3 came out, I was like, yeah, was this made for last gen? But it's still fun. It's just you could tell it was an old game even when it came out.
Well, I played it when it came out, so it looked very visually impressive back then when it first came out. So let me ask you a question real quick, Hustle. Are you interested in playing that game in the order that they were actually released, or in the order the story releases them in?
So I know it got like I saw shout out to Jimmy, J Mega Games. He was over at Weaponway. He had this for a Patreon request. There's like a movie with this, so I'm gonna look it up online and see where I actually start.
Well, there's in the 2.0 and the 2.5 and 1.5. The third game is just the cutscenes. It's not the game itself.
Well, that's fine.
Which is weird, but you know, I think it's because they were like Game Boy games or something like that. I don't know. But you know, if I were you, I would start with Birth by Sleep. That's the one I would start with.
Okay, you said Birth by Sleep.
Yes, it's.
How many are there in total? I don't know the lore.
There's like 8 or 9.
I was joking with someone just the other day. I was like, someone needs to explain it to me like I'm 5. Just tell me like I'm 5 and explain it to me. Because they're fun games.
This says Birth by Sleep. Final mix, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's the one you want to do.
All right, I'll start there. We'll have some fun.
Yeah, that's the one you want to start on, and the reason you want to start there is that's not technically the first one in the Origins, but I think that's the first one that you would like that would explain the story better. The problem with Kingdom Hearts is it's not that the story's confusing, it's that the story is told through multiple platforms and multiple games throughout like 15, 20 years. They'll hit you with Kingdom Hearts 1's technically like the third, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep's technically like the second, and they came out like 10 years apart from each other. So that's the reason that game's confusing. If you went from
Star Wars.
Yeah, if you went from Kingdom Hearts 1 to 2, you missed a game between them, but they don't really do a good job explaining that. Like a lot of other games, when it comes to, explaining stuff with sequels, the sequels aren't really important. You know what I'm saying? Like they never really continue stories in games with sequels. It's always like a prequel or something. Like all of the games in Kingdom Hearts is explaining Kingdom Hearts' lore, but they don't do a good job explaining that.
Edit. Either turn me and Court up or turn yourself down.
I'll turn you guys up. But yeah, that's pretty much all, man. Like, it's not that the game's bad. It's just, at the end of the day, I do feel like they could have done it. What I don't like about Kingdom Hearts is just, like, the cringe part. That's all. Like some of the writing is bad. Like, I don't even, like, the story makes sense to me because I've played them all. But but even know that the story makes sense to me, the script and the dialogue sometimes is so cringeworthy. Like, it's unreal, man.
Well, like I said, I'll see
Hey,
what they're sitting for and have a good
it
time.
put
Yes,
a
sir.
smile on my daughter's face when when it was
Oh,
on Game Pass, and we were like, she loves the Hercules movie, she likes Frozen and all that. So I would like purposely like get to those levels, and then I'm just like, all right, just go have fun. Just go live in that world. Go have fun. Because like she really liked the Frozen world, even though it was like opposite of what the movie is. And I was actually explained today that they originally were going with the original Disney script when they designed the level, and then had to change everything because Disney decided that Elsa wasn't going to be the bad guy anymore. Because that's the original movie. Elsa was a bad guy. And they decided to not make her that. So then they had to switch it around, and they were already making Kingdom Hearts the game. So they're like, okay, let's just figure it out. And we pigeonholed, they changed the script. So like that whole section doesn't make sense. But she loved like Toy Story level. Oh my God. I think my daughter, she could play that for hours and do nothing, just run it around.
All right, so let me get this super chat real quick. We got a $2 super chat from Drawn TJ. Hey guys, what's going on? Drawn.
What's up, TJ?
All right, so first off, enough Kingdom Hearts talk. I know some people in this chat already falling asleep. So we got a good show for you guys, man. We got Xbox Game Pass. I do feel like there are some things that we need to talk about with Xbox Game Pass. We got Xbox outselling the PS5, and we got CertainAffinity helping with Halo, which is interesting because they're working on another game as well. But we'll get into that later on in the show. First thing I want to ask the guests, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, if we're doing Xbox, I think we have to talk about Game Pass because it's
You want to talk about Game Pass first?
It's literally the thing that I don't know. I know it's the most divisive, and now at the same time with PlayStation doing their premium tiers, that they're pretty much doing the same without doing the same. But I can't get over the fact of how good a deal is. And we were talking before the show, a game like MLB The Show, which is made by San Diego Studios, which is a Sony first party studio, launches day and date on Game Pass, and it's the most downloaded game.
Mm-hmm.
And not even by a little bit. Like it's crushing everybody right now. And it doesn't get talked about enough. Like it's just like when Forza dropped. Forza to me almost was game of the year. And now MLB The Show is dropping on Game Pass. And everybody's like, it's all on PlayStation. I'm like, yeah, but Xbox is literally every couple months dropping huge games on Game Pass. And it seems to be there's more of like, okay, you're either on one side or the other. Why can't people just be happy to be a gamer? I'm so confused that the visceral like surrounds Game Pass. It confuses me.
Well, I think what it is, there's a select group of people. Do me a favor, Hustle, while we're doing this. Find the games that came out this month for Game Pass.
Alrighty.
When it comes down to it, I think people are so obsessed with discrediting one service that they don't give any props to the other, and vice versa. Like, I've always said that, like, PlayStation Now is a good service, but the problem is Sony didn't support it. So you can't really fluctuate and do good when the person that owns you isn't doing nothing. Like that's equivalent. Like what they were doing is equivalent. Like when a game comes out, like a huge third party game, they give it to PlayStation Plus instead of Now, which never made sense to me. And that's equivalent to Microsoft putting their third party games like Tunic and stuff on games with gold instead of Game Pass, which that if you think about that, you have a service that you spent all this money on, and you're not putting games in there day and date. It'd be different if you wasn't doing it at all, but they're putting those games on another service that's not PlayStation Now, and I think that was the biggest issue with PlayStation Now. And I think since they've combined them now, I don't think you're going to see that issue as much because let's be real. What this was and what Sony was wanting to achieve is PlayStation Now wasn't as being like anywhere near successful as Game Pass, so they put them together to make all the numbers one. And that's a genius move. And I feel like now since PlayStation Now and Plus are combined, I think you're going to see them put a lot more money behind that service. You're going to see more third-party indie games or more third-party games in general come out day and day. One of the biggest things that you're talking about MLB The Show that I was confused about was like, why did you not put MLB The Show on PlayStation Now? Like, because at this point, I feel like, what are you really making off of that game? to justify not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and from a competitive aspect, why aren't you trying to compete with them on the games that you can compete with them? I understand not the God of Wars. I understand, the Horizon Forbidden Wests, but it's MLB The Show. They're gonna have one next year, and the one year after that. Like, I feel like that should be a yearly installment going straight to PlayStation Now.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I look at the numbers. So MLB The Show 2017 was 1.16 million. 2018 was 1.06. They don't have the numbers for 19 or 20. So if they're only selling that many in sales, then yeah, I don't understand why it wasn't on there. But can we sunset Xbox Live Gold and just make that go away? Can Xbox just listen and just make it go away? Hey, do what like I've seen. This is the new one I see online.
You know what would be crazy if they did that with Xbox Gold? They combined them in that too.
Well, yeah,
they did the same thing that PlayStation did.
And then their subscriber count would be because that's what I'm seeing is the new argument. Everybody's like, well, the PlayStation Now has already have more subscribers. I'm like, well. Yes, sort of, because they're combining the two and they're making one, but sure. But I think they're both good services and both have their advantages. I think the biggest downfall I have for PlayStation Now is the PlayStation 3 games are only played during streaming. And I think that's a problem.
Oh yeah, facts. But I will go over a few of these games. And shout out to Xbox. They need to really change this.
Send it to me on Twitter, Hustle, if you don't mind.
Yeah, hold on. And this is my game rant, but I got you. Hold on.
I get the the mindset with that. It's just like, to me at this point, you're not offering anything with games with gold. That just needs to, and I think what it is too, the reason they don't want to get rid of it is because it is subconsciously putting value on the service. Even though that it's not good, it's still putting value to it. And I'm just like, maybe the casuals like these games, but when I look at these games, I'm like, I can't realistically see too many people download these games.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I downloaded this once. I downloaded SpongeBob, but I downloaded it for my 5-year-old daughter. So it's like there's a difference. Like
that's different. Though. I think SpongeBob is an actual gem that they did,
and they also have done a couple Lego games just recently. But other than that, they're just Xbox 360 games. Don't get me wrong. I like playing my backwards compact games. I do love the fact that I can download them. Like I have tried. I am in an area where there's good internet, and I've tried in areas around me that have bad internet to try and play stream games, and that's just ain't for me. I need to download the game. So for me, the biggest advantage Game Pass has is it gives you an option to play the game how you want to play it for every game. So like whenever we do on Xbox Day, we're announcing, we do the PlayStation, the Game Pass games for April. We announce, we're like, this game comes to cloud PC console, cloud, like they're making sure, if you look at their release schedule, and we'll go over it right now, they're making sure that every single game comes to everything. So you can either play it on your phone, you can play it on your PC, you can play it in the cloud, or you can play it on your console.
I do want to say this though. I think the reason why they still offer gold is just to push people to Game Pass anyway. It's kind of like, Attic, I know we was talking about this. I think it was last week. We was talking about PlayStation Plus or the PlayStation like Now service. And we saw that middle tier. We was like, why is the middle tier there? It's really to push people either to the essential for PlayStation or the premium for PlayStation. So I think that's why games with gold is still there. Yeah, it would be nice if they kind of rolled it all in the one.
I think they might do that. If anything, you see Hustle,
what's up?
They might compete with Sony, how they're doing stuff, and combine theirs, because they've always loved the fact that they were doing more than PlayStation. They might not come out openly and say that, but they like, look, you might be beating us in the console market, but we destroy you in the subscription market. But now, since Sony's combined these two subscription services, they're actually ahead of Game Pass. So I feel like you might see some restructuring going on with that.
And someone in the chat mentioned, like, if Sony did day and date, 100%. If Sony does day and date third-party games, that is finally a competitor to Game Pass. I just don't see them ever doing it anytime soon. Maybe 8 months down the road after the game release, maybe it gets dropped, but they're gonna want, like, just the comments that they have made publicly, like. They're like, well, first they used to say it wasn't financially viable to even do a subscription service. Now they're saying it is, but it won't be financially viable to do our first party games to drop. So that's probably why, Attic, they didn't put on MLB The Show, because they couldn't. That would be contradicting to literally a statement that they put out saying that they can't do it.
So what was you gonna say, Hustle? Sorry, I interrupted you there.
Oh no, you straight. You straight. I was gonna tell you the list of the games that came out. So they got let me make sure I'm back on it. Oh no, this is what I don't like about what Xbox does. They offer you like half the games at like the last half of the month, and it carries over to the next half of the month, or it's like from like April. It's like from March 15th to April 15th. I don't like that. That all. They
You
never
think
really
all the
set
games
right
should come out one day?
I think they all should come out. Yes, sir.
I
Yeah,
feel
just
like the
keep it in
reason,
there.
like I get you, but I think the reason they do that is because that's marketing there. They're like they
I
have
guess.
steady reasons to be in the news. That
Mhm.
I feel like that's the point. Like, sure, they could drop it all in one day, but first off, I think that would be disservice to the actual indies and stuff in the service if they're just dropped with a bunch of games at the same time. Like, I think they kind of like try to give them that time to shine too. Where if you have a
Mhm.
couple games dropping like 2 to 3 every couple weeks or every week, you have a better chance of those games being looked at than you just drop 15 in one day.
Yeah.
And also
no,
they
well,
got the day and dates, right? Like if you look at
Yeah.
MLB The Show, it came out. You could do. They do have a great service where MLB The Show is one of the games you're going to talk about. They had it so that people that had Game Pass could still get the early. A lot of games do early release, so any day and date game that has early release, you'll still be able to buy that extra little chunket to pay half of what someone would if you wanted to buy the whole version here in Canada, for example. It was $109 to get the day and date early version, so you're playing it 4 days early. Well, you only had to pay $60 if you had Game Pass already and you got it 4 days early.
Well, that is good. Man, look, I'm what did I guess? Addict, did you want to read that super chat?
Yeah, we got a $10 super chat from the Iron Lords podcast. How you gonna super chat your own account? That's kind of funny. Don't trust that court guy. Cool to see Xbox in on the Addict Show. That's my dude. Salute Big Hustle and Young Wolf. Okay, back to work. Talk to you later. Cog. Appreciate the
Thank you for the kind words.
the stepping in and talking there for a second, Cog.
You know he's
So-
at the gym, right? He's just like looking. He's got it up. He's like he's doing some sets. He's like, all right, I'll put one.
Have you ever seen like the there's like a thing on Facebook and Twitter right now where some dude is on like he's golfing and he's got this like contraption that's setting the camera up to look at him and he's got a green screen behind him and he's pretending to be in some kind of meeting or something like that. And every time like he crouches down a little bit, you see the background a little bit. I was like, I can see like Cognito doing that, like, okay, because he works a lot. So he's like, look, I'm gonna have to find a way to do this gym. So he's doing these meetings and he's bench pressing and they're just seeing the bar and that's all.
No, you walk into his gym and he's running on the treadmill with an Oculus on and he's doing the meeting inside the Oculus. He's just running on the treadmill.
Actually, Cognito just responded in the chat. He said he's actually between sets. So, all right, Cognito, just slow down. Look, I'm gonna have to hit the gym. I understand what you. I feel like that's a shot at me. Like I just need to hit the gym. He said, "What's up, Big Hustle?" He had to call me big. I'm 6'3", 250. You know what you're doing, Cog. But no, it's good. It's good to see you, man. But as far as a few of these Game Pass games, they got Life is Strange: True Colors, which I
And
have
I've actually
not
been
played.
told that's a good game. Like,
Yeah,
haven't played
I
it.
have it sitting there. It's just I haven't turned it on.
Is it Oh, I have a question about that game. Is it like the first Life is Strange, the way I may cry a little bit? Keep it real.
I've been
From
told
what I
it's
understand,
close.
yes.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. What is Lost in Random? The hell is that?
So Lost in Random is a turn-based game from EA, and co-host of my podcast I do on Wednesdays, Three Dads, Waba, loved that game. It was actually up there for one of his game of the years. Loved it.
Okay, all right. And wait.
I have them. Do
What?
you want me to say them?
Yes, please, because I can barely see
So
that as it
we,
is.
We
These
got
are
a Cricket
super-
22. That's
Oh,
coming
ew.
out.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
How you gonna say ill?
It's Atticus Cricket. Okay, hold on. So, Court, you are from the Great
Canada.
North. You are from the Great North.
Yeah.
Do you guys participate in cricket? I know y'all play hockey, but do y'all participate in cricket?
I've never personally played it, but there is a large cricket fandom here in the Toronto area. Yes.
Okay, real quick, settle something for me because I don't know. Are those games like 6 hours long or something?
100%. They are forever. I don't watch them on TV. It's not my thing, but I know people that love it. I was playing. My first job I started my first job, and we were playing softball. And one of the gentlemen on our team, he grew up not in Canada, but he used to play cricket back home. So when we were playing baseball, we were playing softball. He's out there with no glove. I'm like, dude, you gotta wear a glove. He's like, I don't need no glove. And no, he did not. He's jumping up, catching fly balls, no problem with this thing. When you go watch a cricket match, these guys are catching a very heavy ball, hit very hard with no gloves.
I see.
Crazy,
and
man.
then that
might
is like
actually
too far apart from
be
each other
harder
either.
to catch if he had gloves on. Maybe it would slip off your hand a little bit better.
But real quick, the only time that they really show it in America, because I frequent ESPN, is that when those games go from like 18-hour games. That's why I asked about the length of the games and stuff. But they'll have those moments too, to where they'll like carry over for a super long time. I never really understood it. Never really got into it though.
You'll never see me doing the cricket thing, man.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I don't need another game to play. I play golf because I'm old, and that's what I do on the summertime on the weekends. I used to play hockey until I had a lot of concussions, and but I'll play baseball video games and hockey video games, no problem.
Every time I see people playing hockey, I just feel like that's a dangerous sport, man. I see people getting clothesline, doing 2 or 3 backflips, man. I feel like it's crazy how physical that is. But we'll go back into as far as Game Pass. I think what Game Pass does really well, and I don't think a lot of people understand this. Sometimes it's dry on Xbox. Let's be real here. Sometimes they don't have games coming out for months at a time. But I don't think what people that don't game on Game Pass and people that don't have Game Pass or not even have an Xbox in general understand is it's hard to complain that it's dry when they're giving you games to try out and you can like them and you end up playing those games the entire month. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, this game's cool. I remember Generation something, Echo Generation. That game came out in Game Pass a couple months ago.
Made in Toronto, Canada?
Yeah, and so I'm playing it. I ended up playing that for like 2 weeks straight. So people don't understand that, like, when you give your consumer something to do, it's hard to complain there's nothing to do. And that's what PlayStation's missing, because when it's dry on PlayStation, it's just dry. Like, unless you're going to play third-party games that you wouldn't normally play. And the reason that Game Pass is so good is because you could buy the third-party stuff, buy the games that you're hyped for. But every gamer, unless you play literally every genre, there's going to be a couple months out of the year that you either touch the backlog that you keep telling yourself you're going to play, and you never do, or you try something new, because people want that new experience. If you dropped a game, 9 times out of 10, you're not going back to that game. And if you do, you'll play another 10, 15 minutes of it, and you drop it again. And people want that new experience. And Game Pass is like a door that you push a lever back and it spins a room, and it just gives you a new experience. And if you like it, you don't. And if you do like it, you play. And if you don't like it, you spin the knob again.
And now for you, Attic, the developers of Echo Generation, the next time they have a game and it gets announced, you're going to be like, oh, I remember playing it. Whether it's on Game Pass or not, you're now going to think about
I will
playing
buy
that
the
game.
next game.
They're a fantastic developer. That game, I'm just like you, Attic. I loved it, and it was also great because there was a lot of Canadiana in it. So there was a lot of inside Canada jokes. But I 100% agree with you. I think it helps so much for the indie developers. There are so many games that I have played on Game Pass that I never would have tried. But because they're on Game Pass, I'm like, all right, I need a filler game. Because usually what happens is I'll have whatever game I'm playing. Like right now, I'm playing Lego Star Wars. I'm also playing MLB The Show. I always have a Game Pass game on the side going at all times. I have other games that I've thought about playing, but I'll keep them in my play later. And then I also look at games. What game can I play on my phone? Like Echo Generation was one of those ones. I'm like, all right, it works on my phone.
That game definitely could work. And I remember Phoenix Point. I played that for 3 weeks, and I still haven't beat that game. That's the only XCOM style game that has defeated me. I got to the point where after I restarted that game about 8 or 9 times, I was like, I'm done. I don't want this smoke anymore. And that's why I think that, people don't understand. Look, Game Pass, I don't care what people say. There are certain games that if it is there day and date, it's going to lower the sales. And that's just strictly because people are buying it. And, people oh, well, this developer said it increased their sales. Well, okay, your point. Like, you can't tell me that Halo Infinite would have sold more if Halo Infinite wasn't in Game Pass. But the thing is, just because there's that negative stigma, which it did probably have a decline in sales, doesn't mean that Game Pass isn't helping the Xbox ecosystem in general. It's helping them with relations when it comes to indies, because there's nothing more that will get indies on your back. Like, y'all, I'll give you some money, and you just put your game on this. And you know, let's be real here. A lot of these indies know that their game isn't going to sell like to that point where they don't need to put it on the service. And like you said, it gives them clout, because if they make a good game and it goes in Game Pass, they're always going to be looking at that game from now on. Oh man, that's made by I remember Moonlighters, people who made Moonlighters. Their game's getting bought next time. They made Moonlighters, and I bought their next expansion to Moonlighters. If it wasn't in Game Pass, I wouldn't have played Moonlighters. I wouldn't have convinced 3 other people to buy Moonlighters, and I wouldn't have bought the expansion for Moonlighters.
Well, the stats came out, and we talked about it on a previous episode, Matt and I. They already showed that people that use Game Pass buy more games than people that didn't previously. Like, if you were just someone that's on Sony, you're going to buy this game and this game. But when you have Game Pass, you're like, oh, well, I already have all these games. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll try this game, or I'll try this game. Oh, this big indie game comes out. You're like, oh, I'm going to try buying that game anyways. You end up spending more money. And I think this is going to happen for Sony too, because when PlayStation Now launches and it's the full shebang, we're now as gamers going to have such an amazing time to be a gamer. You're going to be like, well, I can have both services, and I can just play, hopefully everything either launches on one or the other, and that's how you choose where you're going to play it.
And it kind of has the reverse effect on me. I know once you buy a game from Game Pass, you get a discount on it. Typically, if I like a game, like I like physical media, Attic could tell you that. So typically, if I like a game from off of Game Pass, like The Outer Worlds, I like that game, and I do want to own a copy of it. I might not be able to play it for like another week and a half if I'm starting this, but
like a month.
Well, hey, look, I'll get through one of those games and I'll get back to The Outer Worlds. But my point is, like, I am enjoying it, and that game is like fairly cheap now anyway. So instead of me paying, I think it was like $60 on Steam. So instead of me paying the $60 on Steam, I'll just find a used copy somewhere because I'm enjoying it that much. You know, and if my Game Pass, because I have it on PC. If it's just so happenly it should lapse, I still got the other game in my possession. So yeah, so I like Game Pass for that, because it's a good like a rental service for me. So that's why
it gives you options. Like, I bought Control after it left Game Pass. I've never got around to it. I kept it in my play later, and then I read we did a show, and it was like, oh, Control's leaving. I'm like, oh my god, I haven't played it. And like Remedy is one. I was like, I've got to try this game. And I'm like, you know what? I went online, I went on my Best Buy, and I bought a physical copy of the full version, because the Game Pass version didn't have the 4K, everything, the full glow up for the Xbox Series X. So I just bought for $14.99. I bought the full version, and I got a physical copy of Control. And Control ended up being, even though a game came out years ago, it was my favorite game I played last year.
And another thing that I don't really see people look too much when it comes to Game Pass is it does help games. Like certain games that wouldn't have done this, like Outriders. You guys honestly think Outriders would have been the mildly success it was without Game Pass? Like, I don't feel like people were going to gravitate towards that game. Like, me personally, I tried it, but like, I always, when it comes to like making that Destiny vein type of game, that's why I always laugh when people say Destiny killer, because the only thing that can kill Destiny is Destiny. And it's just like, when it comes to something like Outriders, you know, they said that Guardians of the Galaxy. They said that there's more people that's been playing Guardians of the Galaxy since it came out in Game Pass than before it came out. Then you got stuff like, Outriders. Outriders was a success because of something like Game Pass. Because when you're playing on especially a cross-platform game, and you're playing something like Outriders, and like, yo, this game's kind of fun, and like, yo, where'd you get it? I got it in Game Pass. Man, I'm on PlayStation. Well, you better knock up that $59.99, that $69.99. And if there's anyone that, like, look, marketing could sell games. Watching something on the Super Bowl can sell games. Advertising on TikTok can sell games. Advertising on YouTube can sell games. But you know what sells games way more than any of those? Friends to friends. You can convince your friend to buy the most dog stuff game that's ever been in existence. And when they play, you know what? You know how I know when you play a game and the words come out of your friend's mouth, man, if I buy this, are we actually going to play it? Like, if I buy this, are we actually going to play it? They're like, yeah, man, go ahead, get it, man. We going to play this tonight. Play it for like an hour and a half. Never touch that game ever again. And it's just like, and you see this happening all the time. So I can imagine so many people playing Outriders. And you know how it is when you're in a party with your friends and you're in a group chat with your friends and everyone's in this but you. You're the only one not playing Outriders. Everyone in your friends playing Outriders. They all have Xboxes. You have PlayStation. You're going to have to go over there and you got to buy that full price because you don't have an Xbox. And I'm sure that happened. I'm confident that happened. Where there was moments where friends were playing these games and in order to play it with them, they had to buy that full retail price.
I actually had to do that.
Sorry, my apologies.
No, you're straight, cool. No. I actually had to do that because I do own Outriders on PS5, as a matter of fact. I bought the digital version too, and I ain't like it, man. That's exactly why I buy the physical version.
Hey, did your friends tell you guys we're gonna play that a lot too?
Well, hey, to our credit, we did. Audible, shout out to the troubleshooters, and Dallas over there at level 1. We had ran it, and I know me, Dallas, and Fame had ran it a couple times too. So we played it. It just wasn't my thing.
Oh, honestly, that game could have been so much more if they gave it more content and gave it more behind it. It had such a high level, and then it dropped. But I think that is Game Pass's secret weapon. If you have an Xbox and you have Game Pass, or if you have a PC and you have Game Pass, you know whatever game is dropping on Game Pass, you can play with your friends. Your friend doesn't have to be like, oh, I got to go buy that game. You'd be like, okay, we're going to download this game. We're all going to play it tonight. And then boom. That's why I think that's why PlayStation got on it, because to me, Game Pass is about community. And if you look at a lot of things we all like to do, everybody talks about tribalism and like there's sports teams you like and all that. Everybody likes to be a part of something. So when you're on Game Pass, you feel like you're a part of something and you get to be like, hey, no matter what, like MLB The Show right now, I know that anybody I know that has an Xbox, I'm like, hey, if you want to go play this, they don't have to go buy it. They just have to download it. And it doesn't hurt them, whether they like it or not. They can come on and play. I know when Destiny was on there, I'm not a big Destiny player. Sorry to the realm, but it's I still went on and played. Like Sean Capri when them were playing it. I'm like, sure, I'll download it. Who cares?
Because it's accessible.
Exactly.
And
what play the
And
game.
I noticed people try to give this negative notation where it's like, if you don't like a game that you download on Game Pass, you're just gonna delete it. Like acting like that's a negative thing. I can download a game, and if I don't like it, I didn't invest anything financially besides the $15 I'm already subscribed to because of certain games that come out throughout the year, and I can just delete it if I don't like it. Where is the negative in that? There's no negative. But for some reason, people want you to think that because you don't play that game. Look, I get it. If you don't buy a game, maybe subconsciously, if you buy a certain game for full price and you're playing it, and people's like, well, you know, you're not gonna continue playing. If you don't like it, you're gonna drop it. And I'm thinking to myself, you know how many times I've forced myself through a game because I didn't like it? Or it's not that I didn't like it, it just wasn't hitting 100%. Ever played a game that you're playing, you're not really getting too into it, but you're not hating it at the same time, and you're kind of forcing yourself along the track? And it's just like, and you play these type of games, and the thing in the back of your head's like, yo, I paid $60 for this game. It's not that I hate it. Let's just finish it. And you kind of make yourself finish it. You don't have that sensation anymore. If you don't like that game, it's getting deleted because you didn't put a penny into it. And I don't see a problem in that.
Yeah, I'm cool on that, man. If it's something, it's really just something there for you to try. If you like it, cool. And if you don't, that's cool too. You just, get up off the thing. Addict, you say all that, but you got to play Tetris Effect. I'm not sure if you played it yet.
Oh my God. No, I have not
sir.
played Tetris Effect.
Sir,
all right,
sir,
moving
right
along. So I want to be messy a little bit. I want to be messy, okay? Godfall has come to Game Pass. No, it's not Game Pass. It's on Xbox. And
it's cheap, though.
It's cheap. I feel like Xbox should have went for that for Game Pass. I don't know why. Part of me feels like if a game is exclusive on PlayStation, when that comes to the Xbox platform, Microsoft needs to go in the back door and be like, yo, we want this game on Game Pass. Because I feel like what that does, I don't like Godfall. I've never really liked it. I try to play it, like 30 minutes of it. That type of combat doesn't really entice me too much, but I feel like what you do there is like, look, you got exclusivity on this, but we're kind of taking that away. And if And if Xbox gamers start seeing that as a trend, they won't get it on the other platform. Because people don't realize that when it comes to these type of games, what's the most important thing about console owning is the fact that you'll be able to keep people on your platform for the most of the games. That's what they're really fighting you over. They want you buying your CODs on their platform. They want you buying, the Ubisoft games, the EA games, because that is where they're getting money. They want you to buy the game and play their games. But that's not the end goal. The end goal is they want you buying everything on that platform. And I feel like if Xbox really wants to go in that way, make it to where something like Bug Snacks, I can't believe we're talking about this game.
Coming to Game Pass.
So it's coming to Game Pass. So Godfall, I feel like if that would have come to Game Pass, and you start seeing this trend, people might not invest into that PlayStation ecosystem as much because they're like, yo, it's coming. It's just a matter of when. Hey,
sorry, how many times do you say to you, well, you know what? I'm not going to buy it now. It's probably going to come to Game Pass.
I actually never say that.
Oh,
like
no?
On the real. Like for the most part, I might say it on like little indies or something like that, but something like Godfall, like anything like if Dragon Quest came out, I probably would just buy that. You know what I'm saying? If a Final Fantasy VII came out, I would probably just buy that. Like I think anyone that comes out and they say I'm waiting for Game Pass, they were just curious about that game. They were never fans of that game. If you're fans of that game, you would buy that game day one. I'm very confident to say that if you are hyped about something, you're not waiting for a Game Pass version.
No, I pre-ordered and I've been playing Lego Star Wars. I got in Canada, games are not cheap here. It's $90 for the deluxe version of Lego Star Wars, the digital copy. Normal games out here are $90. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Well, at least y'all get free healthcare. Shout out to the floor hugger.
100%. Hey, we're about to get free dental.
Oh man, we're not talking about that. It's just gonna.
We get free healthcare. We're about to get free dental too. Mind you, we do pay in taxes, but you know what? Every place has every place has its greatness. I'm actually a dual citizen. I was actually born in Atlanta, Georgia, but I've lived my whole life pretty much in Canada since I was 5. So I get the best of both worlds. So it's nice.
We got a $2 super chat from Flame. Addict, let's talk about bug stats. Hashtag weenie hands. I have no clue where that came from.
No, it's in the character. You can put hot dog hands.
Yeah.
Oh, look, man, I'll be real with you. I play Godfall. We'll talk about that. The part that annoys me the most about Godfall is I play this and I see so much potential. But it's just like, maybe it wasn't properly, nurtured. I don't know how that goes. When it comes to bug snacks, though, that's not happening. It's not happening. I ain't downloading that game. That's I guess you could theoretically download it for some Twitter fun, if you guys know what I mean. But like, even if you want to do that, is it really worth the download speed? Like, some people playing caps on their download speed. Is it really worth that? Like that game, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like there's better stuff to download than bug stats. Now, I wonder if King, I know you're in the chat, King.
King's moving to Canada, by the way, according to the chat.
I saw that.
King ain't moving nowhere. Question, King. I was about to say, King is gonna download bug snacks just to put it on his Twitter. I could just see King now. King will record and be like, he'll say something like, what was he like to use? He's like, you guys are the beta testers. This is where it truly is. That's why everyone loves King, man. King is predictable, but not predictable at the same time. Sometimes I will go into IOP and I'll think I know where King's going, and then King starts talking like, oh God. Okay, we're on the same side. I didn't know this. Okay, let me reevaluate what I was gonna say.
How could I disagree?
I mean, look, I'll just say this. I saw Slow-Mo playing it, and Slow-Mo, shout out to Slow-Mo Backslap. If y'all aren't subscribed to him, make sure y'all subscribe to my man's channel. He, for his 1,000 subscriber special, he actually had to play that game. Another friend of the show, Jack Move Johnny, he played that game, and I think he stopped. I don't even think he finished that game. I think there was a part where he couldn't like finish it. And all the marketing led me to believe that if you didn't have a PS5, you couldn't play that game at all. So, I mean, you know, it's cool that it's coming to Xbox. I hope y'all actually play it, you King, and enjoy it. You know, because I think you'll like it. Plus, I hear the story is pretty deep. Now, I won't be playing it because I'm cool on that. I had a PS5 the whole time. I ain't thinking about no damn bug snacks, man. Godfall either. I ain't thinking about no Godfall either. And there was another game that was on our PlayStation. Addict, you remember day one? It was the racing game. They thought it was like Burnout.
Oh, Destruction All Stars or whatever.
Yeah, like
it was a bad game.
I'm good. I'm right. I'm right, man.
I see people saying to get King on here. King is a busy person. Okay, usually I have to give King. I have to give King like a day or two in advance to come on here because he's always running around doing stuff. I might try to have King on the next couple weeks. I already have the guests for next week lined up, so maybe we'll try to get King on the week after that. And plus, next week we're going to PAX as well, so I'm not trying to overlord the lords and anything.
We're not doing a show next week, are we? If you're going to PAX.
No, what we doing a show? It's a Wednesday. PAX, I get home on a Sunday.
All right, cool. You got it.
All right.
I didn't know when PAX was. I thought PAX was.
Yeah, PAX is
like E3.
22nd. I think.
No way. I leave Wednesday. No, we won't have a show next week. I leave Wednesday morning.
Yeah, because
we won't have a show next week unless you want to do it Tuesday.
Yeah, it's up to you. I mean, I wouldn't want to hold you up if you got a pack and all that. Just let me know. Ain't no big deal.
Yeah, we'll do it Tuesday. We'll do it Tuesday. Okay.
What are they going to call the PAX flu this time? Usually, friends of mine, whenever they go to PAX, like everybody gets sick. They're like,
nice.
I actually don't get sick after events.
Really?
Yeah,
neither do I.
I'm sick after
full disclosure. I'm pretty darn sick
knock
right
on wood.
now.
This isn't wood, but I'm knocking on it. Okay, don't get me sick next week.
Sorry.
There you go. He's got wood. All right, so let me ask you guys a question before we move on. All right, when it comes to Game Pass, I'm gonna ask you guys 2 games that you would like to see on Game Pass. It doesn't have to be. It could be as long as it's realistic. Don't give me some God of War. Don't give me nothing like that. 2 games that you realistically you could stretch that. Like if you want a game that's exclusive, that's a multi-plat on another platform, I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? So tell me what you guys would want to see on Game Pass.
You go first, Hustle.
Oh, put me right on the spot.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll go. I got it in my head. All right. So any of the Lego games, just because as a parent, I think Game Pass needs more kids games, man. I love the Lego games, and it really does. Like they got developer Outright Games has been putting a couple games on there, and I think they need to find some more kids games on there. And then another series is Jesus. See, I've only got the one. It's just the Lego games is what. The Ubisoft games are coming, right? So it's like those games too. Like any of those big third-party AAA experiences, those are what Game Pass would eat it up. Any game where I can go in there and play forever. I don't want the Rockstar games. I get it. They go on and off. But I'm looking more like give me Assassin's Creed, or you know what? Assassin's Creed is probably too much. Give me the next Watch Dogs. It's not the biggest Ubisoft property, but you can go in there, you can eat it up, you can play it for a couple days, and then you can hop out of it.
Okay, and is it Siki or Ciki? He took my answer, or she took my answer, whoever that was.
They're in the chat. You don't have to talk about the chat. Keep going.
Yeah, they're in the chat. But no, I'm gonna acknowledge them.
No, you can acknowledge them, but you don't have to. Like they took my answer. Yeah, you in the show, not them with your answer. They took your answer.
Didn't see it. Just
that's how you do this. They took your answer, not the other way around.
Well, I ain't into robbing our people, but no, thank y'all for typing in the chat. But no, Persona would be like the first one. All the Personas would be like ideal, like for Game Pass. We haven't seen Final Fantasy VII yet either. Addict in there. The remake, I mean, we haven't seen that yet. So like that's another like good one that probably should be there. For me, I mean, if I had to pick something, ideally it would be third party. It'll be Madden. It'll be what's the best way to try to get everybody to
so
come
you
over?
Want it day and date, right? Because Madden is there, but it's just not.
Yeah, it would have to be there day one. Like, what's the best way to get a lot of people over? Because it look like they're about to buy Call of Duty from what we can tell. So, I would say Persona for sure. Let's see what else. I'm not gonna say Spider-Man. I saw King say Spider-Man in the chat. I'm not gonna say
Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales.
hey, listen, Miles Morales is a fire game. I don't know if y'all haven't played that yet. Please do yourself a favor.
Honestly,
incredible.
Miles Morales is one of the best Christmas games that we have seen on a console.
I actually think Miles is better than the original Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Once again, I have memories of playing. My daughter this Christmas wanted to play it again because you can go around at Christmas time and it's snowing and she can swing around as Spider-Man. And she loves using the costume with the kitty cat on the back.
Yeah.
Spider Cat. And she'll do that all day long. And then she goes to like all the other different places. Whenever bad guys come, she just hands me the controller. She's like, all right, there you go. It's your turn.
Yeah, no, I like the Prowler uniform myself. That joint was the purple, and one of my favorite colors is purple. But like that was it for me. As far as any other games, I don't really think Game Pass is really missing much. I don't think. Persona is that really big one though. That's the one that everybody's kind of like anticipating.
All right, so my two are going to be on that borderline between realistic and not realistic. I feel like Microsoft's done a really good job trying to appeal more to a Japanese audience, like people who love that genre, not necessarily a Japanese audience, but people that like that. But I feel like they need to start hitting that with day and date games. You know, that's why I feel like if they went out there and they was able to not only negotiate Persona 6 coming to Xbox, but it also be Game Pass day and date, and then they were able to negotiate. Sure, you can't get Final Fantasy, but that Kingdom Hearts 4 coming to Game Pass day and date. I feel like if they were able to negotiate that, they would shut me up. I couldn't make videos about how they ain't trying. Like to me, I think the absolute highest thing, which we can move on to this because it's been a huge topic, is Xbox with Japanese games. You know, Miles, shout out to him. He made an article about it, talking about that Microsoft needs to do a better job of getting these games. You know, like Triangle Strategy, Nintendo exclusive. Sure, that's not on PlayStation, but it's not on Xbox either. You got Final Fantasy. We got 2 iterations of that, not on the platform. You know, and I feel like when it comes to these type of games, people always tell me, Addict, the reason people aren't doing it is because people aren't buying it. Straight up cap. If you don't give us the best ones of these, we're not going to experiment in the genre itself. You have to give us the key components to this genre, the Final Fantasy, the Personas, the Dragon Quest. They did a good job with Dragon Quest 11. Not going to take that away from them. But you got to do more. You got to put the pedal to the metal. And that's why I feel like if you put Kingdom Hearts 4 and Persona 6, especially Persona 6, if Persona 6 not only came to Xbox, but it was on Game Pass day and date,
it would sell consoles.
You realize how crazy that would be.
It would sell consoles. Like 100%. Like I can't remember. I think it was Windows Central did an article on it. And they were talking about how if you go into those Western stores, they don't even offer Game Pass. Like Xbox, you just walk in. They sell them there, but they don't even offer them to you. You walk in and it's just a PlayStation or a Nintendo when you go into those stores or across the water there. And that's also their biggest problem. But the Xbox Series S is actually doing well in Asian marketplaces. So this is the time. I think you're right. It's the better answer. It's the, hey, here's how you grow. If you want to grow Xbox and grow Game Pass, you need that other audience. You have North America. You need the rest.
And, you know, we're about to talk about Xbox selling consoles and units. So, you know, let's go to move on to that, you know, since you opened up that wormhole. We've been seeing, you know, me and Hustle talked about a couple weeks ago where they won a week or two. But it's looking like here consistently, they're actually selling really well. Like the Series X and the S. Now, sure, you can go on there. You could talk about how many units this person can make, how many units that person can make. That's all cute. That doesn't mean nothing. At the end of the day, what means something is what they're selling now. Because if anyone knows anything, the people who sell the most consoles in the first couple years, they generally do extremely well, if not win the generation the rest of the year. Because what you're seeing now is you're seeing a lot of people buying the Xbox. And people are like, well, you know, when the Xbox, when these chips and stuff come up, you're not going to see that Addict, because you're going to see, if you can go into any place and buy a PlayStation 5, that's what people are going to do. But here's the thing. PlayStation isn't doing bad, but this is a platform that was dominant last generation. To me, I thought Xbox would do well, but I didn't expect this. I really didn't. I expected Xbox Series X's to be on the shelves for a couple weeks, and they slowly go off, but not to be they on, off. Sure, there's S's everywhere, but I'm pretty sure S's are easier to make than Series X's.
100%.
And what's funny is people will sit there and say, "Oh, go ahead and speak."
No. I got something that goes against that too, Addict. I went to Best Buy yesterday, whenever Monday was. When I went to Best Buy Monday, I actually had to go pick up my Elgato ring light, and they don't sell at Best Buy. They don't sell the Xbox Series S's online because everybody was using the bots to get them and everything. So they're at least at the local one in my area. They ain't at no GameStops though. They're the GameStop I went to today. It's not there, and it's not at another GameStop that I frequent as well. So there's the Series X's, the PS5s and stuff. They not there. The Series S's are though. They are.
Yeah, well, the S's were for me as well. But just recently, I was just in the local Walmart the other day, and they didn't have any for the first time in a little bit. Like usually, but I could still go online right now. I bet you if I go on Amazon right now, I bet you I could buy one right now. I had one. Yeah. I upgraded. I have. Well, I'm gonna sound lucky here, but I have 2 X's.
Oh, well, lucky you.
Yeah, well, I traded. What I did was I traded. I had an S and I traded, and then I'd already had it doesn't matter. I ended up getting 2 X's. It's just, it works out. But I guarantee if I go on, yes, the Series S's, but I have a funny, I think that was Xbox's whole idea the whole time. Like they couldn't foresee the shortage coming, but yeah, you can buy one on Amazon right now.
A year ago, Phil Spencer did say that right now, I don't know if it's changed, but he did say that they were focusing more, because regardless if certain components aren't there for an Xbox Series S and X, we'll have to get someone on here that knows tech like that. I would assume that are certain variables that both of them have. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they are, but he did say that they were prioritizing the Series X like 6 months to a year ago. I don't know if they've changed that up, but what's funny is like you have people that. It's crazy that like people would dismiss the Series S, including myself. I'm not the biggest Series S fan because I have bad flashbacks with the Xbox One and the Xbox One X moments. I stated multiple times me and Kid Smooth playing Gears and him loading up way faster on the Gears on his X than I was on the Series on the Xbox One X. So what's funny about that is they learned then that these multi-consoles, as long as you promote them correctly, they work. And that's why I feel like in certain aspects, they had to make sure certain things in both consoles were the same to make sure that they were able to get the same type of, maybe not necessarily in terms of, quality, but they can get a lot of the same games to run identical. Maybe not like visually wise, but performance wise, you know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously we have certain devs that hit like 30 frames on the Series S every now and then, and I think that's to be given because I do think that it does take a little bit more to get to that Series S the way the X does, and that's subjective and all that. But what's interesting about this is just like I said, like Xbox was not doing the greatest last generation, and if you would go into the beginning of the generation, you would ask me, Addict, what do you think the Series S and the Series X are going to do? I would say, look, I think they're going to do well, but I always thought that Series S and X would start picking up when their games started picking up. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. Like if you think about it, they sold games in a month where they had, not only did they not have anything coming out, because I think we can all agree that the past couple of months, besides like a Gamepass perspective, they've had kind of a weak month. They're still outselling the competition with them launching their games. So it's like, to me, it's like if you're outselling your competition during the months that they have these games coming out, and I get it, the PS5 and the PS5 digital, they're a little bit harder to come out the gate. But to me, that's subjective. That doesn't even matter, because what's going on now is you're seeing the beginning of the generation. And I honestly feel like by the time stuff comes out, and by the time like these chips start coming out very frequently, and we're going to ask Court here in a minute, at that point, your friends are going to have a Series S and X. Your brothers and sisters are gonna have a Series S and X. Your parents are gonna have a Series S and X, and you're gonna naturally. And I'm not saying like my parents, but obviously there's a lot of parents that game, and you're gonna naturally gravitate towards where they are. So it's like just because they kind of like PlayStation and Sony have like a little bit of a hiccup right now, I do feel like them not trying to take the initiative, because there was a lot of rumors going around that Microsoft they prioritized their own stock over everyone else. And I think the reason they did that is because they know that the longer the generation goes, that's when the domino effect happens. I buy a system. Let's say Kid Smooth haven't bought a system yet. He's going to naturally buy a system because that's where I'm playing. And you're going to see that domino effect from here on out. So what do you feel about that, Court? Do you feel like I'm bugging?
No, I also think, from a personal standpoint, I know of many people that had a PlayStation 5, but because there was, even with Horizon, this was before Horizon, when the hype train happened with Forza and Halo from that November, December, that's a lot of times where people are itching to spend money. Well, those Xbox Series S's were available to buy. I know so many people that bought one then, and then liked the console so much that when the X dropped, bought an X just in the last 6 months. So you're getting, not only are you getting the people that already wanted an Xbox, so you can get one. So the Xbox is more available. You have Game Pass, which is a hype machine by itself. Then you even have the people that had a PS5 that they're like, you know what? People haven't been able to leave their houses for 2 years, not going on vacations. They have a little bit extra kind of cash. They go out and buy a second console. Like last gen, I had a PS5 and an Xbox One, but I barely turned on that Xbox One. That thing it might as well have been a VCR. It may look like one, but it might as well have been one because it just didn't get used. I was using my PS4. Now you have the PS5 and the Xbox Series. People are using both consoles. This is the first generation. I would say more people are using dual consoles than ever. And you're seeing people that have, like I said, they bought the S and then they upgrade to the X. Because like I was finding issues with my S. When I was using it, one of my issues was when I was playing backwards compact games, and I'll use Batman Arkham as an example. The game had some frame rate issues hard on the S because it was trying to push all these extra screens. I was getting screen tears on the S, but I know on my X, I would go downstairs into my basement and play it on my X. I'm like, oh my God, it's the S. It's because the HDR auto updates and all that was made for the X. So I was having issues with my X and it was driving me nuts. So in my office area, I was like, I want to upgrade. I couldn't get an X. A friend of mine bought an X. He was like, I actually wanted the S. I was like, well, I'll just pay the difference. And we switched. So I think this is the first generation where you're getting more people that are buying more consoles. And I would be almost safe to say, even those people that you see online, those Sony, people call them Sony ponies, whatever they want to be called. People just pick a side. I guarantee they still have an Xbox probably.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Because you want to be part of that zeitgeist. You want to be part of the conversation.
I mean, if they're like me, typically what I do every generation since the PS3, as a matter of fact, I pretty much get all three consoles, Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation. I typically get all three. And like I said, when I went to Best Buy on Monday, the fact that I went over there and I saw so many Xbox Series X's there, and the girl, shout out to Ann, she know her name. Well, she knows she is. But she told me, she's like, yeah, you can come back like next week. Them consoles not gonna be gone because they were sitting there for a while. They just don't have them online. But no, that's like super dope to me. Like I said, I like physical games. The S wouldn't suit me at all. That'd be a big waste of money, and I got a nice PC down here already, so that'd be a big waste of money to me. I want something that I can just like pop a disc in and and get to it. No matter if it's on the OG Xbox, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That works on like your Xbox. If you have an Xbox One X, I didn't notice, but that works on there. It gives you the 720p version, but that still works on there. And I can only imagine it's going to work on the X as well.
I got the backup behind me. I got the 360, the NES, and then the PlayStation 1 back there. So I can play some old backwards compat, but I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Another reason why, for me, another reason why I really bought the PS5 digital or physical rather, was so I can play all the back compat titles. Like, what's up?
I'm sorry, Chaos. So someone said sounds like the Series S is the gateway drug.
It is though.
It might be. It's
The amount of people I know that bought that console and now upgraded to an X when that new stock came out is astounding to me.
I mean, but certain what game was
we
that? I
got this
think it was
joke for you,
Battlefield.
man. It'll open up your eyes, open up your mind.
I think it was Battlefield that didn't run so hot on the S. Battlefield 2042 that didn't run so hot on the S.
I don't think that ran hot on anything.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know what that's you dead right. Yeah, that's right.
That game sucks.
Oh man. Well, hey, I'm not going to criticize it because I haven't played it, but one of the people close to me, they did play it, and they was like, "Yo, it just said this didn't run well," and but it probably wasn't finished of the game. Yeah,
I don't even blame the developers. When a company like EA is in control, they decide when games come out, and EA's done it way too many times where they put out a broken game, and they're like, "Well, people pay for it." And if you saw what they said after the fact, they were like, "We knew it was broken. We just figured we could fix it down the line. You just keep giving us money."
I know this ain't on topic, but I kind of couldn't believe that they tried to blame Halo for the lack of success. God. That was hilarious.
Oh, don't say that, man. I got jumped on by the whole community. They didn't say that, Addict. I'm like, no, you don't bring up another company unless you low key have some kind of resentment. I'm not saying they hate 343 or Halo, but they did in some way feel like they took away from their shine. Guess what? You took away from your own shine. Had nothing to do with 343.
And that's wild. Like you'd have thought they. I was gonna say you'd have thought they was a YouTuber, but yeah, because oh boy, that's wild. That's wild to me that a company would do that. But it is what it is. For me again, like the fact that I can just pop in like Ninja Gaiden and it does like how Xbox did the whole. Hold on, if I put a OG Xbox game in there, right? Will it upscale it like it does in Game Pass? Because they kind of reworked everything and then put it up to 1080p. So it'll be working on the console too?
Was the reason why I wanted to switch. So I have an X downstairs on the TV, and that's what I use for the family. And then I was upstairs in my office, and a friend of mine gave me a stack of 360 games. Arkham Origins, gave me all these games. And so like I'm like, oh, I don't have the digital copy. So then I pop them in on my Xbox Series X, and I'm like, hold on a second. I'm like, did they do this glow up or whatever? And I look it up, and it's just like, no, just auto HDR. The games look different. Like Arkham Origins looks beautiful. Assassin's Creed 1 runs 60 frames per second and looks crazy pants on the Xbox Series X. It astounds me how good old games, and I have no problem playing old games. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's just something I do. And I'm like, wow, the X is just that thing. It's just a gift that keeps on giving sometimes.
Indeed. Hey, Attic, before we go on any further, hey, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, y'all, go ahead and go to Level 1 Gamers channel. They have the Double XP podcast tonight with special guest Khalif Adams, I do believe. I ain't messing nothing up.
Be interesting.
But I want you, yes, sir. Support my family, y'all.
Put the link in the chat.
Hey, y'all mods in here. Hey, Level 1, put y'all link in the chat.
So he's like, you doing the light work. I ain't doing it.
They can do it.
All right. So, obviously when it comes to the, let me get my bars off a little bit when it comes to this. Like I said, I'm kind of surprised that it happened. I'm not shocked because I do feel like people try to undervalue what Game Pass is doing for the platform. I've said multiple times on this platform that people, they take exclusivity when they buy stuff. They take where they're friends when they buy something. They take all of these matters and all of these factors into account when they buy something. But you know what the number one thing people take into account when they buy something? Value. And that value of Game Pass where you could go in and you could buy a Series S or an Xbox Series X and you could walk out with 200 plus games in some matters. I don't know what's on there now. They're always putting stuff on. But when you have this amount of value that you could leave with that type of games, and we're not talking, like, sure, some of the games on there might not appeal to you. You might think some of the games are too kiddie-ish for you in terms of how they look. Kind of like everyone thinks Fortnite looks kiddie. Fortnite's one of the biggest games in the world. The biggest games in the gaming industry. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean the masses don't. You might think if you're a racer on there, if you like RTSs and you have a PC, you could play stuff on there. Like, people need to put more respect on that Game Pass. That's besides the fact. I do feel like Sony's got a little bit of a breathing room because I do truly feel that these numbers are going to be very different when you see Fable start coming out. Perfect Dark start coming out, Avowed start coming out. Yeah, all these games that they've been working on.
StarCraft, if
StarCraft.
successful. And that StarCraft story, Jesus, why am my brain not working? What's the game that's coming out in November? Why is Jesus?
Starfield.
Yeah, that's the maybe COVID brain, but that game could make or break Game Pass, like the system
Again,
itself.
it's a very important thing.
It's very, very important to Xbox, this game.
I think it's important, but I would say that like Ninja Theory's game I would say Starfield's important for this year, but I feel like Hellblade, Avowed, State of Decay 3, and those are probably the biggest three. The reason I feel like those are more important overall is because those show, because all Starfield's going to do is show Microsoft spent money to get an exclusive game.
Yeah, but what if the game's bad? Like, let's be real here.
No. There is definitely a realm where this ends bad. But all I'm saying is, like, when it comes to Hellblade, State of Decay 3, and Avowed, those games are going to show what Microsoft can do before a game comes out.
I get that.
Because when it comes to like the Outer Worlds, by the time they came out, it was already done. Starfield already done.
But what about if they like? I still say right now, Halo Infinite is not a finished game.
It is.
The campaign, it's not finished. The multiplayer is not finished. That game, I loved my time with it, but it was way too many times I was playing that campaign, and I was lucky enough, thank you Xbox Canada, getting to play that game early. The amount of times that I got to like a certain point, I'm like, oh, there's a door here. Well, that door doesn't open. And then you find out from the developers, 40% of the game they just put to the other side. I wish they would have just let them finish that game, and I'm hoping Starfield isn't that, where it's a Halo drop. It's great for a little bit, and then it loses its shine.
I was seeing that some of the weird, unique stuff that developers do. Like I was seeing on YouTube when the Kingdom Hearts developers wanted to make reflections. You know how they did that? They would have it to where a puddle would have like a surface top where you couldn't go into it, but it would just be, if you looked into the puddle, you would see the reflection, right? But all that really is the game upside down under it.
Ooh.
So I was like, that's unique, man. That's unique. Look, all I'm saying is I definitely understand where you're coming from, Court. Like, as far as, I do think that's going to represent how Bethesda is. Now, obviously, they're together. I think Starfield is going to determine how well Elder Scrolls 6 does. Because if Starfield comes out and it's not the greatest, Elder Scrolls 6 is still going to do well. But if Starfield comes out, hits it out of the park, Elder Scrolls will probably do way more just off of that.
Yeah, but if Starfield comes out and hits it out of the park, your game, like, because the game's coming out right around the holiday season, that will be the number one thing people are going to want is Game Pass or that console if they don't have it.
Mm-hmm. And people
just to play that game.
Right now, we're talking about Starfield. Wait till we start having these conversations with.
Sorry, it was right there.
We're talking about Starfield right now. Wait till we start having this conversation with Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, very
Elder
true.
Scrolls
That's
6.
What, 22 million copies across. What was the final? I'm gonna look that up. I saw it one time and I was in shock.
People don't realize how popular Elder Scrolls is, and when that hits, that obviously we know that that's an exclusive because they've talked about it being an exclusive.
30 million copies.
But when that game officially launches, Court and Hustle, and it's an exclusive, it's gonna hit different. And that's why I feel like the Outer Worlds 2, that was the other game. Outer Worlds 2,
Outer Worlds 2
Avowed,
looks so good.
Yeah, Outer Worlds 2, Avowed, Hellblade 2, and State of Decay 3. And the reason I feel like those are very important games for Microsoft is because it shows that they bought a studio and they improved it. Like we all look for these 4 games to be improved from their predecessors, because most of these games came out, they were already done or already released.
So my question for you and both of you, we've all played them. We all played Fallout. We've all played these games. Are we going to be okay if they're broken? Like because back in the day when Fallout came out, it was okay that it was broken, right? We're like, oh, it's Bethesda. That's what they do, right? Are we okay if they're broken?
They need to come out. Like, there's a difference between broken and glitches. Like, there's a couple glitches.
Bethesda brokens.
Okay, well, here's the thing. besides Fallout 76, they've had serious issues on certain platforms. But I have always said when it comes to these giant RPGs, is your fun factor has to almost be double what the bugs are. As long as they can keep that up, I think they'll be fine. And as long as there's no game-breaking glitches. As long as there's no game-breaking glitches and you're having double the fun that you're being annoyed throughout the game, they'll be fine. What do you think, Hustle?
Well, first of all, Court, I'm gonna rebound off of what you said. This is the game that I die for. No, this game can't come out broken, first and foremost. And you know why I can't? That acquisition, that money talk, baby. That 7.4 billion? Money talk. Like you got way too much money now to even allow something like that. And I think Todd Howard and the team at Bethesda, I think they know that now. So this joint can't come out with the normal bug Bethesda games. Like, this is why I typically stayed away from them joints. This is why I stayed away from them.
That is a t-shirt. Bug Bethesda.
Hey man, look.
They should make that t-shirt. They really should make that t-shirt.
They should have. They're supposed to cash out, but you know what? I don't work in their marketing department. They don't want no money. But But the money, like the budget that they have now. I mean, you only have to assume that it's high because it's Microsoft. And here's the thing: Microsoft know that too. They know that Starfield is going to be like the big seller. They know it's going to be like the big seller that month because they announced the date a whole year before the joint drops. So they know, like they already a year and a half before it drop. They already know. We'll see some stuff at E3. Well, not E3. We'll see some stuff, whatever Microsoft is doing around the E3 time. We'll see something else. We'll probably see some gameplay, and then you know how Bethesda.
We better see.
Yeah, but if you look, Bethesda normally doesn't show their game until 7 or 6 months before their game releases.
Yeah, I think they'll show something and they drop. I like that about Bethesda though.
June.
Truth be told,
we'll get it in June. I think we'll get it in June.
I think the reason that they kind of like look, Bethesda usually rolls one certain way, but they changed it up a little bit because that was when Fallout 76 happened. I felt like they wanted to give a lot of what's what I'm looking for? A lot of hope back into the Bethesda fans. That's why they announced Starfield way before it came out, and that's why they announced Elder Scrolls 6. If Fallout 76 and they knew they were positive that game was going to do well, I don't think they would announce Starfield and Elder Scrolls. I think it would have been one of those games that, they push on. But, let's go ahead and push on from that subject. It was a nice little subject to talk about. CertainAffinity. I'm sure a lot of you in the chat know what the studio's, and I'm sure Court and Hustle knows this. The studio's been helping 343 with Halo for a long time now. And now it's officially looking like they've actually merged, not necessarily merged, but they're pretty much permanently contracting them for the foreseeable future to make Halo content. Now, right now, it's rumored that they're making some kind of game mode. Regardless if it's a battle royale or a different type of mode or maybe like a battlefield mode, I would be actually more interested in a battlefield mode.
It sounds like the rumor. That's what it sounds like. It's like more if they call it like the lone wolf or last man standing type thing. Like it sounds like a battle royale.
I've always felt like battle royale works well in the Halo universe.
I think it would with definitely those maps.
It's like I've said multiple times, man. Just imagine being like you're dropping down in ODST pods. And the map pops up at first, shows all the locations. You click where you want to go, and the ODST pod just drops you straight down.
Ooh, it's made for that. Wow, that sounds fantastic. Like you're just sitting there, you're like playing, and all of a sudden this pod just crashes beside you and like knocks your player over so that you can't shoot the guy right away. Oh,
and do you think I feel like you need to start with a pistol if this happens. You need to 100%. Start with a pistol. It maybe do stuff different though. Like that's what I like about Apex Legends is they took that formula and they made it their own. They made it their own so much that the people who made that formula low key stole their stuff. So because originally you couldn't mark stuff on that map on Fortnite, couldn't revive each other on Fortnite.
The ping system.
The ping system. But when Apex Legends showed up and they innovated that genre, they made it unique to themselves. Fortnite came in the back door and was like, we like this, we like this, we like this. And they implemented those into their game. I want that with Halo. If I don't care, like I'm not the other people. People feel like they don't need to do it at all. I don't think they need it, but I do think it would help. It's just like, imagine going to Halo Infinite, Battle Royale on the left, area on the right, customs on the bottom. Like that's what they need. Sure, you're going to split your fan base, but the people that's going to play Arena right now, 9 times out of 10, they're not playing a Battle Royale.
You need to bring a fan base back.
Yeah, I feel like
I fell off the game for God's sakes, and I do an Xbox show.
yeah, I feel like their biggest thing now is to not only bring those people back, but give it that mode that is streamable. Give it that mode that people will stream constantly, that people will play constantly. Give it that mode that's popular. Arena is fun, but it's not popular. Let's be real here. Arena wasn't what it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I get it. People don't like the Battle Royale because of Fortnite, because of Apex Legends. But at the end of the day, that is what's popping right now. And I don't see that going away anytime soon. The Battle Royale structure is so streamable, it's not even funny. You start every game fresh, and you fight your way up to that last 3 or 4 people fighting. Halo needs that. I don't think that they desperately need it to keep alive. I think they could be fine just releasing content. But if they want to be mainstream and competing with these people every year, they're going to need it. And, you know, it's like I said, do the ODST drops, man. Have multiple ways over stuff, but have kill zone boxes to where you can, what's those things, the energy bridges that they put in Halo all
Light
the time?
bridges?
Yeah, the light bridges. Have it where you can put those on and off, and people can lock down areas, but there's always another way around. Like, and then, like, not to mention, if you don't have a light bridge, take a Pelican over there. Take a Hornet over there. Like, there's other ways that they can do it that makes sense to the Halo brand. And that's all I ask CertainAffinity. If you are doing a Halo Battle Royale, make it your own and don't just copy off people.
Well,
you could talk.
Would you like to go before me?
No, I'm going to let you go.
Okay, well, I'm going to be the contrarian here. Like, I don't give a damn who they get. It's over. It's a wrap. That joint started off with 250,000 people playing it. It's over. It's more people playing Master Chief Collection right now on PC.
No, I was just fixing my camera.
Oh, okay. No, it's more people playing Master Chief Collection right now on PC than it is Halo Infinite, man. Which is sad. Which is,
and because there's more content on the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, because they released a game that wasn't finished.
Yeah, and you know, and I'm glad they didn't release it on the original release date because Lord knows what we would have gotten. Now, before people like jump off the deep end at me, I got 40 hours in the game. You know, I think I got to like level 40 or something like that during that battle pass. Whatever. I had fun. The game is fun. It just need more modes. So with the new mode, aside from this rumored battle royale mode, they said King of the Hill is coming back. I listened to IGN Unlocked. They had Adam Cole on there. And they was like, you know, some of the modes that they like. King of the Hill is probably one of my favorite modes, especially when it comes to Halo, because that's actually what I'm used to. It's not like Gears, the way you know, jump in a circle and you lock it down, and then like your points will keep going up until somebody break the circle. Now with Halo, you got to stay in that. You got to stay within the hill move, hill control. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You got to stay there. So like, just more game modes and like. For me, I'll jump back into it, but it's not going. I don't think it's going to hit those numbers for quite some time. But I have a way that they can actually come back. I'll call it the Sea of Thieves syndrome. They can get like Summit or get whoever's big in like the FPS community to like actually start playing Halo again and start playing it online because it is free. And yeah, and they can be back when something like that happens. Maybe they get Dr. Disrespect in the chat, man. Maybe they slide them a couple dollars, had them play it for a little bit, and just
I'm all about buying. If you could buy these people to play your game, do it.
Yeah,
like people don't realize that's just a form of marketing. People want to sit there and try to look down on that, paying streamers to play games. That's a form of marketing. Do you think that when you see these giant, actresses and these Hollywood influencers on these commercials, you think they're doing that out of the kindness of their heart? No, they're getting money to do it. And we got a $2 super chat from Hustle. From
nope,
Flame.
Not from me.
So from Flame. Hustle is right. Scrap Halo Infinite. Hush.
It's over.
We're not
it's
saying
over, man.
that.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
I agree a little bit. Like, I think they had this thing. They had 25 million people. They had a game where the Halo before was meh. Some people liked it, some people didn't. They had this audience. They had the hype. They had all this momentum, and a lot of it had to do with Gamepass was doing well. Xbox was just knocking out of the park. Forza hit, and everybody was like, oh my God, Xbox is back. Xbox is real. The hype machine behind Xbox was at its apex for the first time in forever. And then they released Halo Infinite, and it was like, you'd see some people, it was almost like people were giving it a review based on being Halo. Like I was on a show and I before we started, they're like, "So what's your score going to be?" I'm like, "Well, it's 7.5." And they're like, "What? This game's amazing." I'm like, "Is it though?" I'm like, What part about it is amazing?" They're like, "Well, this." And I'm like, "But is it amazing? Like, is it what you wanted it to be, or is this a game that could have released on previous gen and been the same? Like, are we getting anything different? What do they get? They have this giant expansive map, but there's nothing to do on it." And then they brought out a multiplayer that, yes, it's for free, but still technically it's coming with the game. Is it free? I don't know. It's on Game Pass, but at the same time, I'm like, the core gameplay in Halo Infinite multiplayer is amazing, but there's nothing to do. You got no one wants to play it with you, and they decided they're like, hey, we're gonna try something different, and we're not gonna give you XP drip. Like I'm having a lot of fun with MLB The Show because it gives me XP no matter what I do. Play exhibition game, doesn't matter. I'm getting XP towards their battle pass because everything has a battle pass. Yeah, you can't go 18-1 and only get 200 XP in a match. It's embarrassing.
Because what it does is it makes it feel like what you're doing. Look, I've always been one of those people where like we need to go away from the KD ratio, but you still need to have mechanics and gameplay features that's in place to reward you for doing good. There's a reason when you're playing Battlefield, when you heal someone, what do you get?
Nothing.
When you revive someone in Battlefield, what do you get? You get points.
Yes.
When you kill people, what do you get? You get points.
You're getting rewarded for doing things. Mm-hmm. Halo doesn't reward you for playing the game. When you play a game that's supposed to be an online multiplayer, like even Battlefield's a broken game, still rewards you for trying to play it. You're still getting something.
It's kind of sad that its reward system is better than Halo's reward system and how bad that game came out. Let me get these super chats before they get too crazy. We got $5. Right. Can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah, I hear you.
I switched my mic in case you ain't noticed. We got a $5 super chat from Don Otaku. Sea of Thieves and No Man's Sky had far less players in the first year, and both games are thriving now. Halo will be fine once it gets content. That's what I was going to bring up here in a minute. We'll talk about that here. If anyone can bounce back from No Man's Sky, if they can bounce back from that, any studio can bounce back. Sure, I will say that there was extraneous circumstances that led to them going the way they did, but they still were able to bounce back. If that small studio like that can bounce back, a corporation such as Xbox can easily do it. It just, can they do it right? And then you got to look at it from No Man's Sky. That studio, I can't remember what they're called. Something, I don't know. Do you guys remember what that studio's called?
Hey, Listen Games?
What? I don't know. We'll call.
Hold on. Sean Murray's the creator.
So
of it,
see, but the thing is, when it comes to Sean Murray, is he decides everything. If they have a vision for No Man's Sky,
Hello Games.
Hello Games. I thought it was called Hello Games. If Hello Games has a vision for No Man's Sky, the only people they have to convince is Sean Murray. When Halo needs a vision for No Man's Sky, they got to go through Xbox. They got to go through the higher ups there. Then Xbox got to get approved through Microsoft because they fund everything. There's a little bit difference between the two, but I understand where you're coming from, Donald Taka. We got a $2 super chat, $2.79 super chat from RDX Son of Fett. Wow. Just says there's still another Halo game. It's going to be interesting. I do agree with you, Don Otaku. Like Sea of Thieves and No Man's Sky, especially Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves was kind of like, I honestly thought it was going to be a dead man game at first, but they came out and they proved me wrong. They proved me wrong so much that the millions thing was a joke, me saying that there's not a millions of people playing it. And I still think I was right. At that time, there was definitely not millions of people playing Sea of Thieves. And there's probably not millions of people playing Sea of Thieves now. But there has been millions of people to play Sea of Thieves.
I loved jumping into Sea of Thieves. And I truly think if Halo, even a year from now, because they're lucky, it's on Game Pass, right? So if there's ever new stuff and Halo's big again, you got an Xbox, but you know so many people bought one, you could just re-download the game. I deleted the game. It is not even on my console anymore because I am just not, there's nothing for me. There's no drip. There's just nothing there. But if they decide to do a huge expansion and rework the single player and be like, hey, here's co-op, but here's like 10 hours more of content. And here's 10 new maps on multiplayer, and because they've already said they are going to be giving XP for just killing somebody or playing the actual game. You're going to get XP for actually doing it. They said all that's coming back. They bring all that back and actually give content and be like a relaunch of the game. I think they'll get everybody back. It's Halo.
And I think they'll need, I don't think it's season 2, but I think they're going to need a sizable story expansion along with it to get people, because I feel like if you give people a good amount of story content, you're going to get people to come back to play that story content. And I feel like those same people will try the multiplayer again since they're playing the game.
100%.
And if you can captivate them in those first couple games when they come back, imagine like you getting a double kill. It just shows like points going on, double kill, triple kill, killtacular. You just see points going up over and over again. You're feeling like you're being rewarded. Those people probably going to stay around for a couple games.
Not even that. Sorry. Yeah.
And I was saying, then you'll have people come and play other games. Oh man, like, oh kid, they fixed that thing before I'm jumping on and playing it with Smooth. Hustle's playing it with me, and then you get this giant cycle going on, and everyone's playing Halo again.
Yeah, but like they could even do like that. That's like giving me an epiphany. Like they could do that whole like if I don't know if anybody's ever, because I'm old. Rainbow Six Vegas 2, way back in the day, they had the multiplayer component and they had the single player. When you played the single player, you earn XP. Went to both single player and multiplayer. God forbid when Halo brings in their co-op, the things you do and the leveling up system that you do in the single player, you can use it. You get rewarded for playing the game, not just the multiplayer. You get rewarded for playing the game. That's what people want. We look at this way. Everybody always says Gamepass is free. It ain't free. You're paying it here in Canada. It's $180 for the year.
10 to 15 a month
for the year. It's not cheap. So if you reward people's time, because we've learned something over the last 2 years, our time is important, and the people around us are important. So we've learned to do other things. So if you reward people for their time, they're going to stick with your game. It's just the way it is. That's the way it works now. That's why people play Fortnite, because they're rewarded for it. They go in there, they end up getting skins. They're working towards something.
That's the reason so many people play Destiny.
Yeah, what do you, and everybody's loving Destiny. Destiny brought out that new expansion. All I hear is amazing things about Destiny right now. So you're getting those people that play the game and go into it, they're getting rewards. But when those rewards go away, why do I need to play your game anymore? You're not giving me anything. You want me to play it for no reason?
I'll say if Halo wants me to come back, that co-op needs to be there, man.
It'll be there, and I'm disappointed with them that they didn't try.
Not this season, not next season, though.
I don't think nothing comes this season, just season 2.
Well, hold on. I mean season 2. I meant it won't be coming back in season 2. So we probably won't see that joint until like September sometime, man. But that's actually what I'm waiting on. That's what I'm waiting on. Sure, if King of the Hill comes back, sure, but I'll actually like buy the game when the co-op is there, because I got a couple people who are running with it. And make sure it's 4-player co-op, and just make sure it run right online, which I'm sure, I have no doubt in my mind that it will, but I just hope that that part of it is flawless. I said earlier that they can't recover, and I feel like from the multiplayer standpoint, right now, I kind of feel like they can't with what they're offering. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything, but that battle royale mode, if it is true, that's gonna have to hit for something. That's going to have to hit for something crazy. That means it's going to have to be like the next big thing in order for like for them to come back. That's what I'm saying. Like it's going to have to be the next big thing in terms of Beyond, man.
The way I would, in a perfect world, what I would want them to do is I would want them to make their map like what was the Call of Duty one before Warzone? Blackout? Isn't that what that was called?
Black Ops, I think.
Black Ops.
No, it was the battle royale before Warzone that Call of Duty made. I think it was Blackout or something.
Oh,
like
I think you're right.
You know how like in Blackout, I don't know if they do it in Warzone, but in Blackout, the parts on the map were multiplayer maps of the game. And I feel like that if they could do that in Halo, I feel like that would hit more. Because people remember what Guardian looks like. People remember what Haven from from Halo 4 are. People remember those maps. They love those maps. So if they're able to do that, I think that would be cool. Where you could just like let's drop in Guardian. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would hit very well. But it just depends on how they do it. That's the key point. They could do this time next year. We could be having a completely different conversation because they took the time to really make their own battle royale. And what I'm scared of, Hustle and Court. Tell me if I'm tripping. I'm scared that they're going to do the least amount necessary. Remember there was that leak that had the red circle that was shrinking on the map? Like the regular maps we have now, it was a red circle shrinking. I'm scared it's going to be something like that. I hope to God that was fake. I remember people saying it was fake, but I never officially heard anyone. But it's just like if they do something like that, if they,
God. You know what I would love them to do because of the map, the way it's situated. You know how there's all those pillars. I want the map to start falling off. I don't want no circle. I want those. I want the outside of the map. You got the land there, and you can literally just see it falling.
They could do that.
I know. That's what I'm
saying.
It
would make sense because it's a ring. If they did it on a ring, they could do that because ring is detachable.
And that's what They have. You think about the map that we were in Zeta Halo. We're playing it, and we're walking through the world, and nice trees, and you got the little squirrels going by. What about that's just falling out of the world? It just falls in front of you, and you got to run away. You can't be hiding in no bush. You can't be doing any of the stuff you do in Fortnite and all that, and you get hit by that wall. The world is literally collapsing like the never-ending story. It's becoming the nothing, and you got to get to that middle. Then it becomes more fun. Think about how great the stuff will be on Twitch, all that stuff. It would be amazing.
You know what? If I had the IOP, because on OBS I have different, you know how you have different prefixes that you could have? I have an IOP one and an Addict Show one. I don't have none of the emotes. I would put on you on to something if I had it on here. I feel like that would be lit, man, if they just fell off. Imagine if, like, if you're on Guardian and you're fighting 2 or 3 people and you just see, and they would have to do it, like, very loud. Like, you're sitting there and you just see, like, Cortana or someone, maybe not Cortana, but you hear someone like your AI's then it's like lock out in 5, 4, and then you just start seeing like the little locks around the map just start going up one at a time, and once they're all up, it falls.
Oh, it'd be so, and you could hear the and then all of a sudden you just start seeing like warthogs falling off the side, and you're just like run. It's just, you got to go. Just so good. And it would be like, you could even do teams. It wouldn't even have to be 1v1. You could be like, all right, you're fighting as teams and you're trying to take over the center. And like, that's what you're trying to do is take the base that's in the middle, but you've all got to get there and take over. And oh man, you could have so much fun with it. They have this giant map and there's so much to do with it and they do nothing with it so far.
We got a 2 super chat from RDX Son of Fett. Halo Wars 3, Jess Corden says it's in production. Oh, I might have to talk to him. That might be a video. Look, I love Halo Wars 2. I did like the multiplayer of Halo Wars 1 better than Halo Wars 2. I want them to go back a little bit on Halo Wars 2. Not necessarily a whole lot. I did think they had a good balance, but there were certain things that I would have preferred the way they did in Halo Wars 1. But Halo Wars 3, I'm 100% down. 100% down. I got like 5 days in that game. Very good game. Yeah, it's a good game. I think you would enjoy it. It's a co-op game. Hustle.
Well, I'm gonna need some help.
That's where Aatrox first was. Hustle was in Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, I remember you kind of gave me the history on it when Halo was releasing. I did want to say, for those of you all who are wondering about Halo Infinite and the when the new battle pass drops, it's May 3rd. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm playing to trying to get my. Well, the good thing about Halo is I'm not locked in with that season pass. Like, I could still do the season pass even when season 2 launches. So I really like.
Sorry,
I said I really like how they did that.
I'll still be playing Lego Star Wars.
I can't front on you, man. I've been told by so many people that's the best Lego game that's came out in like a decade.
It is. I'll even go one further. It's the best Star Wars game that we have ever played in the last. It's so good.
I saw someone get
so good.
I saw someone get really upset over the title screen because what's her name's at the top of.
Oh, whatever. You know what?
Look, he did have some points there, man. He did have some points.
You know what? As a Star Wars fan, and as an old Star Wars fan, shut up, man. Stop complaining about the new movies. Jesus Christ. I went through a generation where I didn't get Star Wars stuff. Now you're all like, ooh, I don't like. You know what? grow up when I grew up in the 80s when we had a little bit of Star Wars. We're like, this is awesome. Like, oh yeah, you get nothing. You get a Christmas special that's terrible.
We get nothing.
Nothing. We got cartoons. We got stuff later on. But I'm talking about these kids nowadays and everybody else. We're getting so much content all the time. Try and find some niceness in the world. Stop complaining about everything all the goddamn time.
I agree. There's a lot of it's one thing. What I always have this rule, Court. It's one thing to speak your opinion once and then just move on. And then especially when it comes to gaming, I feel like you could speak your opinion once and then revisit it when they've had enough time to remedy that issue. But people that talk about the same issues every week,
they messed up. The wrong director went in and direct in the second movie. As much I love my Star Wars, but when Mark Hamill comes out and was like, "Yeah, I don't know why they made me throw away that lightsaber. That's not what Luke Skywalker would do." You know that, and so then they had to try and pigeonhole and fix it in the third one, and it was just like, all right, the first one. After the first one dropped, we all were like, "Oh my god!" Like even that opening scene
first one was
where
good.
they showed. It was so good. It had so much homage to everything, and we were all just like, "Ooh!"
And I
like
actually thought the third one was good, considering how bad the second one was.
Agreed.
The second one derailed the whole franchise so much that it was a miracle they even had the conclusion the third one had.
I truly think JJ was we were gonna have more than Kylo and we're gonna have more Jedis, and it didn't go that way. And I think JJ should have just had the whole thing. He knew what he was doing it right. It's like when Marvel finds Kevin Feige and they're like, you know what, just he can pick who does what they're gonna do. They had JJ and they were like, let's give this other guy did this other thing, let's let him do it. And nope, that just didn't work out. But unfortunately, there's some good parts of the movie. I look at this stuff and I'm just like, I like it, I don't like it. I'm like, I'm just happy I'm getting Star Wars.
Yeah, I agree. So I want to
rant.
Oh no, you're fine. I want to briefly talk about CertainAffinity and their other project.
Oh yeah, we're talking about that.
They're making some kind of Monster Hunter, inspired type of game. Are you guys worried that they're working on two different projects, this Halo project and that project? Because I feel like when you start dividing a studio's attention, everything they work on starts getting affected.
100%.
You turn into Platinum Games at that point, right?
No, Platinum's different. Because certain studios will cut their attention in half. Platinum cuts it in half and then takes the other half and cut that in half and then take the half that they just cut in and cut that in four. It's like
here, I'm gonna put something out there. We never see that other game.
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah,
I know. We'll never see it. It's more important to fix Halo than put out that Monster Hunter game.
I don't know, man. Monster Hunter is a big title. If they can,
it's a very big title, but Halo is one of the biggest titles. It is the Xbox Cadillac. They need to fix this.
I think they're going to help with certain things, but I don't think they're going to take like the reins. If you get what I'm saying, like they're going to help them with like the little stuff, but I do think 343 is going to be doing the bulk of the work. It's just when it comes to this game, we'll have to see. Like, I personally would like them both, even if Microsoft has to help buy some external help to help them get that Monster Hunter game out. If they put that, because my thing is, CertainAffinity, they deserve to try it, and even if the game bombs, they at least got the opportunity. That's my thing. It's like, I think if that game doesn't do great, Microsoft's going to end up buying CertainAffinity, and they're going to be a support studio. Because I do feel like Microsoft has enough studios now. They don't need no more main studios. They need support studios.
Hey, you know what we should do? We should let like Sledgehammer make Halo.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
So I kind of had those thoughts if that Activision deal does go through. I was like, because I don't even know if 343 wants to even work on Halo anymore. And I say that regardless of what Bonnie Ross may have said with an interview with Ryan McCaffrey, right? Regardless of what she may have said, I feel like creative burnout is the thing. And, you got the Mario of Xbox for all intents and purposes. Like, them ain't no light shoes. Like, them some big shoes to fill. So, maybe the pressure very well could have gotten to them over there. Who knows? I don't want to speak for them. And, it'd be cool if Bonnie Ross sees this and she wants to come on and, come holler at your boys one time.
I bet Bonnie Ross.
That'd be dope. I mean, hell, Attic, you met her and I would like to meet her. I think she's kind of dope, man. I think she's kind of dope, and I respect the ground over there. But
she's a nice lady. I kind of like I do sense that she likes games, but I think she might be OD'd on them at this point. She's been in this industry her whole life.
It's like,
I feel like she's at 343 because she's expected at 343, not because she wants to be at 343. I think she probably wants to retire, to be honest with you. I don't know, but I don't know her life like that.
I was gonna say fun fact. She made or she had something to do with the courtside, the Kobe Bryant joint on Nintendo 64, and I heard that in the interview, and I had no idea. She's played sports too, but anyway, I'm going all the way off the rails, but shout out the Halo Infinite, man. Hopefully it'll come back.
We need it back.
It will.
We need it back severely.
I got so many games over this joint, dog. If that joint stay go, there ain't no thing to me.
We got a $5 super chat from Don Otaku. They've been working on Halo and this new game for a while, so I think they have a plan in place. So they're gonna do both. They're gonna get both done. That's where my sense of it, because the way it was described to me, this game is decent in development. I don't think it's at the beginning. I don't know though, because see, when you hear stuff, sometimes it could be months to 6 months old. Like you could hear something today that was told to the person that told you 6 months ago, and that project isn't even existing anymore. They've canceled it 3 or 4 months ago. But anyway, I just want the whole industry to do better. I know people like to throw. I like to do the little jabby jabs with the console war stuff, but I don't have a PlayStation with me now. My girlfriend's got it. But I got the Xbox, I got the Switch, I got the PlayStation. It doesn't matter where it comes out. I played Returnal. I played Ratchet and Clank. I wasn't the biggest fan of Ratchet and Clank. I'm ready for God of War. I didn't play Horizon because I didn't like Horizon 1. I'm ready for these games, man. Just like I'm ready for Xbox's games. So, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up because Hustle got to go take his dogs out here in a couple minutes.
Actually, well...
And I gotta put my kid to bed. I'm not even. That is like real. I gotta put my kid to bed.
So, Court, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Court Lalonde. You can also find me on YouTube at Xbox A. A is in Canada. A, take off. A, you hosers.
Okay.
I like your background, man. I like those lights and stuff. Did you make all that yourself?
Yeah, so I did, but this is all inspired by my co-host Matt Midwood. I know you guys have had him on. I know he's the camera expert at the Iron Lords. Mm-hmm. I had a different background before, but I was always looking at his background, and I got to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. I went to IKEA. It's just IKEA cabinets. You get your Govee lights from Amazon that are real cheap, and then I just literally took my toys and my consoles from back in the day and threw them on a shelf, and it works.
I think I'm low key thinking about doing something like that. Like, not gonna lie, I think that I wouldn't put because I don't really have anything like that. I'll probably buy like gaming stuff and put it on there.
I got that NES. I got the PlayStation for $20. I got the NES for $40 just the other day.
You robbing people?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Does it work? The Nintendo, I mean.
Yes, it does.
For $40. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so you could go ahead and take off, Court, because I know you got family.
All right.
Stuff.
Thank you, guys. I greatly appreciate you having me on the show.
You're fine, man. So what about you, Hustle? Where can people catch you? And we put his Twitter. Court's Twitter is in the chat. Go follow him on Twitter, man. Go over there, follow that individual on Twitter.
Yes. Yes, indeed. No, that was funny. Good cat, man. Hey, real quick before I go, it was Battlefield 5, I do believe. I had 0 kills. I swear to God. I had 0 kills, but my score was higher than the person who went 41-2. And no cap. And I wish I would have screenshotted and posted them joints to Twitter.
That happens a lot, actually. That happens a lot more on Battlefield than you think. Yeah,
no, Eric Empire and Ricky and the Troubleshooters, they was telling me, they said, yo, it really rewards you for being support and being a good teammate. I was like, yo, I like that drink, man. That's kind of why I wanted to play 2042, but I didn't. Anyway, look, I will be playing Kingdom Hearts at some point. I'll probably start this Friday. More than likely, I'll have to see. I probably won't stream it. I have a video that I'm working on. I got a couple of videos I'm working on, but the Last of Us video that I said I was working on, I'm actually playing the game over again because I want clean footage. I don't want to use the footage that I had before, so I may just upload some stuff in the meantime. Outside that, I'm doing good, man. Like, yo, thank whoever. I guess y'all in the chat. shout out to y'all for like supporting my Ninja Turtles video. It's almost at like 400 views. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, hold on, y'all. Because if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna go ahead and link that video as well. I feel good. I can't wait for Shredder's Revenge. If we're being completely honest, I'm 3 subs away from 600. So sub to me if you haven't. Please sub to me on my YouTube channel if you haven't, and watch my latest video here. I'm just gonna put a joint up link. Joint finna be naked. Hold on. Right. Yep. There we go. There we go. So go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Support your boy one time. What's this?
Just keep talking.
What Kingdom Hearts should I play first? I mean, you told me Birth by Sleep, so I don't.
Well, we're gonna let them choose.
You gonna have to tell me. So I have no idea. Yeah, but y'all go ahead and give your boy a follow. I'm close. I'm closer to 1,000 subs than I was yesterday. So we almost there, y'all. We almost there. Sunday should be the next time I post a video. So y'all be on the lookout for that. And Addict, where can the good folks find you, sir?
You can find me on Twitter at Lord Addict IOP. Give me 1 second, because I do want to I completely forgot when he left. It messed up the template.
Oh, the boxes.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Addict IOP. You can find me on YouTube at Gaming Addict. Now, I'm probably going to change things up over there on YouTube a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. We got a $5 super chat from Hustle. Hustle, I hope your Last of Us series about how much better 2 is than the slightly above average 1.
What did he say?
He said,
"Oh,
Hustle.
Wait a minute. Hey, yeah, I see it now. I see it. I'm not going to slander The Last of Us 2 because I haven't played it yet. But hey, look, I asked someone on Twitter earlier today. I said, hey, there's a gore filter apparently. I said, hey, is there a brutality filter? They told me no. So I don't know if I can. I don't know if my sensitive heart can handle that. King said he cried like 3 times playing that joint. Dog, I ain't trying to be no big mess around here. King is a Cancer like myself. I think his birthday is like a week after mine. I'd be a whole mess trying to like do a show, dog. I don't know, man. I don't know.
What we're gonna have to do, Hustle, to get the subscriber count up, is get you on for that E3, for that Microsoft prediction show. That's one of our biggest shows a year.
I'll make sure I'm there.
All right, so you know how people vote for Kingdom on over. I don't know, man. But it's up to him in general. The realm with the 10 votes thinks you should play Kingdom Hearts 1 first. Are you going to be streaming this, or is this something you're just going to play?
I think I'm just going to play it.
All right, yeah. So
I think I'm just going to play.
Come here, we'll talk about it. We'll dedicate like 10 minutes of the show to it every day, how he likes it, what worlds he's playing. Now, keep in mind, these will be spoilers. Obviously, these games came out years ago, and most of you in the chat hate this damn game anyway. There's 157 people in the chat. Definitely hit that like button if you guys don't mind, man. It's hard to get in that algorithm as a podcast unless people like the podcast. But anyway, I appreciate everyone for coming through. Go follow, subscribe to Hustle on YouTube. Try to get him up as much as we possibly can. Let's try to get you at 500 by next month. Let's try to get you 500 by next month.
Hey, we'll see. I'll just work hard. You know how that go.
All right, so hold on. So without any further ado, man, we'll see you next week on Tuesday at 5 p.m. because of this whole shenanigans going on with. Well, it's not shenanigans. I'm going to PAX next week, so we have to do it a little bit early. So we will have the show next week, Tuesday, 5 p.m. I will put it on Twitter, and I'll announce it on IOP. I got to communicate with my guest for next week to see, to make sure he can make it Tuesday, because I forgot I will be gone Wednesday. I leave Wednesday morning. I forgot I'll be gone. So we'll have it Tuesday. But anyway, appreciate it for coming through. This is Gaming Out and Hustle and Motivate, and we'll talk to you next week.